Welcome back to another episode of Expertly Unqualified.
Welcome back, everyone.
We're super excited to have you here. If you missed last week we did our first book talk on Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. We didn't spoil the whole book, we chose our favorite parts of the book, and you should definitely check out that episode if you have not seen it yet. Today is kind of a chillax vibe of an episode because I guess when this comes out, it'll be February, which I don't know how that even happened. Usually January feels like it's 1,000 days long. But yeah, we'll kind of go through our January a little bit. But now that we have our normal episode back, we got to do our favorite part, our WHAT news. If you're new here, this is our news segment. It's the news you need to know right now. It's for weekly stats you didn't need to know, but now you know. We give you the fun news. So Holly, do you have any weekly stats?
First one is amount of pairs of gloves I found. I think I found about 5 pairs of gloves. I waited way too long to actually dig them out of my laundry, but I finally got all of my warm winter clothes because it's been freezing here.
Yeah, it has been very chilly, but that's good you found gloves. I used to be, like, against wearing winter gloves. I don't know why. I just made a decision probably when I was, like, 10. I said, "Who needs these?" But as I've gotten older, I'm like, "That's the first thing I need. I need that and a glove." You know, when you're, like, middle school, you're like, "Who needs a winter coat?" All those other things, and now I'm like, "Give me all the layers, the hats, the gloves, the scarves, all of it."
Definitely in school through high school, I thought I was too cool to be warm, but now I'm just the opposite way.
I'm
I'll be
always
warm.
cold, yeah.
I'll be warm and I'll be happy.
Yeah, but then the other thing was I feel like in high school, I just didn't wanna lug all that stuff around and, like, try to shove it in my locker, you know?
Same, and it's definitely different now that I have, like, a car and many places.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. My weekly stat is bowls of soup I have eaten today. I've had 3 bowls of soup. I'll call it
Impressive.
I'll call it 2.5, but it's probably more 3, and 2 different types of soup. So my parents dropped off this Tuscan chickpea soup. I
Ooh.
normally don't like chickpeas, so I was like, "That sounds a little scary." It was really good. Like, the Italian seasonings, it's got shredded up Italian sausage in it, chickpeas, kind of like a creamy broth, I think sun-dried tomatoes, celery, I don't know if I said spinach already. It's one of those days where I can't remember anything, but that was really good, and then my mom also made potato broccoli cheddar soup, which if you have never had it, it's like the best of both worlds combined with broccoli cheddar and potato. So I had a little bit of that at lunch, and then at dinner, I didn't feel like cooking. Both soups on the stove. It's kind of fun. And I had the most genius idea, but it got shut down by somebody at my household. You know, when you have like a Super Bowl party, everyone's trying to think of, oh, what appetizer to bring, what's fun. Why has nobody done a soup or bowl party where everyone brings their favorite soup?
That is something my dad would do. He's the biggest fan of soup for Christmas. He had a soup party. He had so many crock pots out of different soups.
I mean, where's that at? That's like a play on words, who doesn't love soup? And then think of all the bread you can consume with your soup.
I think it's a great idea, personally.
I'm throwing it out there in the universe. Somebody please have a soup or bowl Sunday party. And then you can rank the soups and make it like a competition. Chili always gets the cook off, you know, but you gotta have a soup or bowl. I mean, that may be in the works. Probably not this year, but maybe next year.
Because I've been seeing online people having bring your own soup parties where everyone brings a crock pot of soup, and I think it's a great idea.
My brother, when he moved into his apartment, he had a bring your own chair party because he had not a lot of furniture at that time. So he invited all of our cousins over, and so everybody brought a chair. So it's so funny, like bringing your lawn chair inside. But it was fun. We had chili actually, so it was very tasty. And so we need to bring your own, have more of those parties. We should definitely do that. Moving on to headlines of the week. Do you have any headlines from this week?
Lines, I have gone out every day. I was supposed to go out even if I didn't want to.
That's awesome. It's hard to go outside these days. I'm like, the couch sounds really good. For those of you who aren't in the Midwest listening to this, it's been absolutely frigid outside. Usually we can handle the cold, but when it's this cold, it's ridiculous. So, like the other day, the high was -3 as an outdoor temperature, and I know northern Wisconsin had it way colder than us, but we still like to complain when it's very cold out. And then you can't really do anything because 'cause you're frozen, and you don't want your car to break down either. So, I don't know, would you rather have freezing cold weather, or would you rather have the I think East Coast got 8, 9 inches of snow and then frozen rain on top of it all? I think I'd rather have the cold.
Especially because, like, at least here, when it's really cold, it's usually sunny and dry.
It's the most annoying thing. You look outside, you're like, "Oh, it's a beautiful day. It's probably 55 degrees." And then you look and you're like, "Nope, it's actually 55 degrees below 0."
But at least you get the sunshine.
Yeah, I'll take the sunshine. Yeah, because I feel like when it's really snowy or frozen rain or stuff, it's just so dangerous to drive. So, it's not like if it was 30 and lots of snow, you probably wouldn't be driving either. It's a lose-lose. That's a good headline. You did all the things you needed to do,
What about
even when
you?
the weather was crappy. Finally ordered a few more things. So, for those of you who may have not watched our other episodes, my boyfriend and I just bought a house, and with that comes a bunch of empty rooms. And so our bedroom doesn't have an overhead light, which is very odd, and I'm not used to that. And then, so I ordered some lights that are sconces. So, like, think of like a hotel room kind of thing that you can just put on the wall. And then I didn't want to deal with hard wiring, whatever. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but I know we don't have electrical in the wall where we're gonna put the lights. So I found on Wayfair these lights that are you just charge them and they're dimmable, and so that'll be a task to set it up.
I got some of the same lights that are like, not like the same light that you got, but I got some of the rechargeable lights, and I really like them because they're so easy to install and you can just put them anywhere.
Mhm.
And they honestly last for a decent amount of time too, but a lot of the lights in my apartment are just either way too bright or way too dim, so it's nice to
Yeah.
have an in between.
Yeah, because I don't like a bright overhead light, so I'd probably opt for a lamp. But then trying to there's too many decisions when it comes to, like, owning a place or renting a place, because how are you supposed to know what would look good in the space if you don't even know an idea of what you want the space to look like, you know? Like, you have all this mismatched furniture, and that's easy enough, like, we picked out furniture that matches now. But then I'm like, "Okay, well, we're gonna eventually paint the walls, so we can't base anything off of what the color of the wall is right now." And especially for something as blank slate as, like, a living room. There's no furniture, it's just wall and floor, and you're like, "Well, we could go with this couch, but if you go with this couch, what rug would match it? What chair?" And it's like, I need somebody to come in and design my house, so if anybody wants to do that. But I also want it budget friendly as possible.
Which honestly, like when I first moved out, I used to put a ton of effort into decorating. And I still have all my decorations, but I just got lazy. So now every time I move, I've just been like, I don't want to put up this stuff. I don't have time.
Yeah, I think it's different though when you're not moving as much too. You probably well, I think it'll still take us a long time to decorate. But then I just have a laundry list of things in my head. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I wanna add this here. How much does this cost?" I don't know how to do any of it. I'm like, "How do I" Yeah, so,
But
yeah,
I
that's
know
my
there's a
headline.
lot of Dollar Tree hacks out there to make decor that looks fancy, but isn't.
I'll need to look that up because we have no decor. It's just blank walls. But that brings us to our adulting of the week. So how did you adult this week?
Actually managed to wake up early enough to preheat my car every day,
What?
which I usually don't do. I know it's terrible for your car. but I at least, like, preheated my car and just sat in my car for 10 minutes before driving this week.
That takes so much willpower to do, I can tell you. Dad, if you're listening, don't listen. Yeah, you gotta heat up your car because your car's not meant to run. I mean, I think about it too, like, if somebody told me, "Go sprint 4 blocks," and it's 15 degrees outside and you have no warm up, you're not gonna be able to run very fast and it's not gonna be good. You probably pull something. But it's so nice when you have the remote start and you can just click a button, but if you don't have that, then I mean, I make a big deal about it, but you have to go out, and you gotta pull it out of the garage or wherever it's at, and then you gotta turn it on, and then you gotta sit. I hate sitting in a frozen car while it's heating up, but I was just gonna say it's really good for your car,
And also, it's like, you obviously wanna be on time to work, but it's just brutal to remember to wake up 10 minutes earlier to even
especially when you're
just
opening too. That's even
for
worse.
sure. But yes,
It's
that's my
worse.
adulting moment of the week. What about you?
I put together one IKEA nightstand, and by
Ooh.
I mean my dad and I, shout out Ted, we had purchased some furniture. I really are. Oh. We had purchased some furniture from IKEA, and in my head, I can do everything. I had the audacity to think that I could put together a nightstand. I'm like, "I'm gonna keep it simple. We're gonna do one nightstand. It can't be that difficult." So, like the smart person I am, we brought all of the stuff upstairs because it's gonna be upstairs, so you're not gonna build it and then carry something heavy up the stairs. Um, I open up the nightstand. I do it right in the hallway. I don't feel like I need to crowd my room. The other room's a mess, and I'm not touching the office, you know? So I start doing it. I probably decided to do this at like 9 p.m. on a Saturday night. You know, prime time for,
Yeah, prime
yeah, prime time. I start doing it, and the directions suck. I'm like, I don't remember them being this terrible. And so I started doing it, and I got to a certain point. I said, I have no idea what piece they even have drawn here. So I did what any good person would do, and I went on YouTube because I knew somebody have has had to have built this nightstand. I found a video, start watching it. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. Granted, I'm using the screwdriver that comes in the little pink kit that has all the. Okay, so I'm doing that. I'm looking at the guy in the video's nightstand and mine, and I'm like, everything on mine is backwards. What is happening? I'm like, am I gonna have to redo it? And I said, I'm done. Literally just left everything in the hallway. If there was an intruder, we would have been great. It would have been a booby trap because there's screws and screwdrivers and scissors and cardboard everywhere in the hallway. But my dad was a saint and came over with a tool I didn't even know existed. It's part screwdriver, so it looks just like a normal
Ooh,
screwdriver. But then it's also like a socket
yeah,
screwdriver. So you know when you have like a socket wrench, you
yeah,
kind of turn it to one side to really torque it to turn the other side. It's like
yeah.
that, but for a screwdriver. And I said, so you've been telling me that I've been using the wrong tool. The tool I had probably could have worked, but it wasn't. You were telling me that I had the wrong tool the entire time. I also put a piece in wrong, so it's a few things. But like, I could have done that. What? So he helped me put it back together. I was like,
I've
oh,
really noticed that IKEA's instructions can be way too vague and sometimes have, like, little to no, like, written, like, verbal instructions at all.
well, there was none. Yeah, and
So that just makes it 10 times worse.
you couldn't even tell. So like on the piece, the first piece that you start with, it's the track that the drawers go into. You couldn't even tell which way it's supposed to go, and, like, the wheels are supposed to be in front so you can put the drawer on it and push it back. You couldn't even tell. I'm like, "My gosh." So,
Which
yeah, that was my
I
adulting of the week. I got one nightstand done. I'm gonna attempt to build another one tonight, but we'll see how that goes. Again, it might be a 9 o'clock thing, which may not be my handyman hour because we'll see how it goes, but I'm trying to remember all the steps and just get it done. Yeah.
I bought a desk from IKEA once, and I assembled it backwards too and just had to entirely restart. But it was the tracks, like, I think assembling the tracks for the drawers was a lot harder than I thought it would have been for some.
Yeah, I'm like, "Come on." And when you go to purchase the stuff, they're like, "Oh, do you want a task rabbit to come out and do," I'm like, "Who needs that?" I'm like, "Oh, my dad, where you at?" Was can't get my nightstand together. Well, I can only imagine how bad that we have, like, a bigger dresser, so but then he was able to fix a different dresser, so that was good. So now we can rearrange the room, which will be good. But this is my problem. And then to rearrange the room means we have to move the stuff out of the room, which means then we have to vacuum, which means oh god, yeah. So it's a whole rabbit hole of things. But at least we have one nightstand done. And I didn't know this, but you can buy a glass top for, like, the dressers and the nightstand so they don't get all grody. So I did buy those, and it looks nice. So that was my adulting this week. Did you talk
Super nice.
about your adulting was the, okay, on our last topic, trends of the week. Trending topics of this week. Do you have any trends of the week?
I don't have any trends to share, but do you?
I have one, and then I just have a random comment. But okay, so how do you feel about Dairy Queen serving food in general?
Okay, so there's a difference between the grill and chill and the regular one. I
Yeah.
don't trust the food at the regular one. I'll eat their ice cream, but I just don't understand why they like, what business they have selling food without a kitchen. I mean, it's also stuff like hot dogs, which I'm not a big hot dog person, but if you've been to the Grill and Chill, they give Texas toast with all of your normal food, which is so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never eaten like I like the ice cream at Dairy Queen, don't get me wrong. I've never eaten food from there. I just find it kind of sketchy to be like, "Oh yeah, now we sell food." But the thing I find even sketchier is that they have a new meal deal coming out, and it's called, like, Fuego something. So it's spicy chicken tenders, fries. Wanna know what the dipping sauce is? Vanilla soft serve.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, that's the dipping sauce, and then you can also get, like, a tahini lemonade or something. I said, "I'm sorry, you're trying to promote fries, spicy chicken tenders, and a dipping sauce of soft serve?"
And tahini lemonade, which honestly, like, I'm not sure if that's gonna be good or just heartburn, but it
Yeah,
sounds intriguing.
yeah, like,
I'm looking it up now.
I think it's called, like, Fuego something, but I like a spicy chicken tender, I like fries. I like dipping it in ranch. Yes, I've gotten a Frosty and dipped my fries in it. I'm not dipping a chicken tender into ice cream. I just felt like that was weird, and then to top it all off, it's from DQ, so I'm like, "Hmm,
It says online that they have $7 meal deals, which is insane,
yeah."
but I'm not sure if the new one would be.
It was some sort of new meal deal, and I was like, what's that?"
A quest for queso. But yeah, no, I think it's worth a try, but, like, again, go to the Grill and Chill, which it sounds hilarious that that's the name of them, but
Sometimes
there's
I
different.
wanna be in the meetings where people are like, "Alright, guys, we need a name for this brand of our, company. What's your ideas?" And then somebody's like, "How about grill and chew?" I wish I was at that meeting.
But yeah, it looks like they're also going to have a new bacon queso cheeseburger served with fries, a sundae, and your favorite drink for $7.
It's $7, but 7,000 calories.
But you get, I guess that's pretty good because you get a sundae and a drink.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
But hey, if I try it, I'll report back. Will I try it? Probably not. I don't know
If you want a good
if,
meal deal, just go to Culver's. Get the
yeah,
kids meal.
get the tried and true.
Yeah, but I just thought
Which
I'd bring that
honest,
up because I was like,
the
"Well,
Culver's kids meal with the cheeseburger, in my personal opinion, is like one of the best meals.
it is." Okay, for those of you who aren't aware, get the kids meal.
It comes
Specifically
with
the
ice cream.
burger, because it's literally the same size of as a Dave's single not Dave's, that's
Hmm.
Wendy's. It's a single buttered burger with all the toppings that you want, side of whatever, a drink, a small drink, and then you get free ice cream. So and it's like 7, $9, whatever.
And
Super good.
you get 2 free toppings on your frozen custard.
Oh, yeah, I did know that. Or the
Definitely worth
flavor of the day.
it. Ooh, I forgot about that.
Now I want Culver's, and it's bad because it's right down the street from me. But
And they're open late.
yeah, but it's too cold out, so the cold is keeping me inside. Um, but yeah, that is our UHAT news of the week, the weekly news.
I have
Yes.
one last I don't know if this counts as a trend, but I know Starbucks' new flavor.
Ooh, spill.
So, the spring drinks that are coming in March, lavender's back,
I do not like the lavender.
and they have new pastries that are gonna be dropping on February 3rd or 5th, I don't remember.
Oh,
So, there's going to be a Dubai chocolate bite. I tried it, it's actually pretty good if you like Dubai chocolate. It's like a little tiny brownie that is filled with pistachio cream and the crunchy things. I forgot how to say them.
that
I
sounds
will
good.
say it's very good, but it's like this big, and I'm sure they're gonna be selling it for like $4 to $5.
Trying
There's
to rip you
also
off.
going to be berry blondie bars, which I
Oh,
think look really good. I haven't tried them yet,
I
but they're
love
white chocolate
Blondie bar.
chunk blondies with berry swirl. There's
Yum.
also going to be a yuzu Danish bite or something.
I've never had yuzu. Have you?
Have it tastes like citrusy thing.
Oh, okay, that's exciting.
And
I need to
also
go
a
get the pistachio because I keep forgetting about it.
oh yeah, pistachio is back. It's real good. There's also gonna be a cookies and cream croissant.
Do they still have the cookies and cream cake pop?
No, that one's gone. Which there is still a customer that comes and asks for it pretty regularly. Still, the answer is no every time, but they still keep asking for it.
You'd think they would learn. They don't.
And the other new flavors, they're getting toasted coconut and ube,
I've
which
never had ube either.
I'm surprised. It tastes like cookies and cream, and
Ube
it's very
does?
purple. Yeah, yeah.
Again, I probably won't try it because I'm not spending $6 on something that I won't like.
But
But intriguing.
it is, like, super purple. It's similarly colored to the lavender, so, watch your backs because 'cause we're gonna be making your drinks wrong when they're the same color.
Oh my gosh. Oh, another thing about trends that's somewhat related. So you know how was it last week we were talking about how people were posting like 2016 photos of things of like them from 2016 because that was 10 years ago or whatever. I was thinking no one has mentioned this. So some of the things that have come up of like the trends of like fashion trends of 2016, like chokers, liner, chunky like necklaces, I think like skinny jeans or whatever. How come no one is talking about Nike Elite socks? Do you remember the chokehold that they had on everyone when it was like 2014 to 2017?
I still see so many high schoolers wearing,
I'm surprised.
especially the boys. The boys never stop wearing Nike.
Oh my god. I didn't even gosh, if you don't know what we're talking about, go look it up. The Nike Elites. They were one color and then down the back they were like 3 dashes of a different color and you'd wanna collect them all. And they were super thick socks, and what were they, like, $15 a pair back then or something crazy like
Yeah.
that? I was just thinking about that because I have 1 pair left, and I was wearing them the other day. I'm like, "Man, I remember when that's what I'd want for, like, Christmas or my birthday."
I
Like,
remember
yes.
going to, like, field trips to the city. It would be the cool thing to go to the Nike outlet and buy those on the field trip and bring them home.
Yeah. So I just had to throw that in there. I wanna know anybody else remember those bad boys. But what's funny is, like, I played basketball, right? And I think they're meant for basketball, but they were so thick they would never let your foot breathe, so I wouldn't wear them for basketball. They're a fashion statement, circa
So
2016.
one of the things that Gen Z and Gen Alpha do to make fun of millennials is make fun of them for wearing short socks, especially like I think they're not so popular now, but like the no-show socks in particular.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
cool anymore. Allegedly to the kids, only tall socks
Allegedly.
are cool. Only tall socks are cool.
But some outfits, you can't wear tall socks.
No, no, they
So,
just want to hate.
yeah. Haters gonna hate. But yeah, so that wraps up our trends and our WHAT news of the week. So now we can dive into the main part of the episode. We kind of just want to discuss January in general because I feel like, well, I don't know how you feel if you have sunshine and 70-degree days every day, but I feel like in the Midwest, once the winter hits, it's like sad days. I can't even think of January feels like it's 7,000 days long. You wake up and it's always cold, and it's like the gloomy month. There we go. Even though sometimes the sun does come out, it's just like such a blah month. Yeah. And I think part of it too is like a whole combination of maybe it's a whole combination of you start off January after seeing all your friends and family for weeks upon weeks for all the holidays. Then January hits, and then you're like, oh yeah, I need a resolution that I need to stick to, that I won't stick to, but I need to have it. I need to set the world's highest expectations for something that I could only complete maybe one day, and then get mad at myself for not being able to complete it for every single day of January. Have that on top of cold weather. You don't feel like going out or doing anything during that cold weather. And I don't know, just January is not my favorite month.
So I'm one of those crazy people that like the winter, but when I was younger, I definitely got the like seasonal affective disorder, sadness, glooms. But I think still is stuff that you can do, but it's just harder to get around to doing it and finding motivation. I think that like sunshine, so even now with my with laying in the sun,
Mhm.
it's like one thing I try doing in the winter as much as possible. Sunbathing every day next to a window as much as
Yeah,
I can, even if I have to blast a space heater.
that's a good idea, yeah, because it's always nice to have the sun come in and it'll show you where you need to dust. It is good to, um, have the sunshine come in and at least enjoy that, and even if you're not able to get outside every single day, it's nice to at least have that. So I don't know about anybody else, but if you're feeling in a rut because it's still January, well, when this comes out, it'll be February, so hopefully everybody can turn it around. But if anybody's been feeling kind of blah and kind of in a rut, we feel you. We've been kind of in the same thing. And I think part of it, I wonder, is right, like in the wintertime with the weather being so poor, you're stuck inside all the time. So then when you're inside, then I think your to-do list grows. Because, like, in the summertime, right? If it's nice out and somebody says, hey, we're having a barbecue a short notice, you're like, yeah, the cleaning can wait or whatever. But I feel like in the wintertime, when you're just stuck at home, you're like, okay, let me make this unrealistic to do list that I need to do this weekend because I can't do it any other day. And then you are disappointed in yourself when you don't get the whole. So I definitely know a friend who's done that.
It's not you. Trust me. I know.
Friends, yeah. The other thing too is like if in the summertime I feel like you're always busy, you're always doing something. But then sometimes in the wintertime you kind of forget, you're like, how do I talk to friends? How do I plan? You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah.
do I plan things? God, my brain just is gone today. I don't know where it's at. It's thinking about the nightstand that needs to be built. No. Well, I was gonna say, like, in the colder months, wintertime, you kind of have time to, like, sit and do nothing, but I don't know about you, I'm not the type of person who's really good at sitting and doing nothing, so then I try to do, like, 50 things in a time span of, you know, my 9 p.m. put together furniture hour. I try to do it, like, not at a good time for anything because I'm like, "Well, I might as well just get it done," but really that's not helping anyone.
I definitely am the same way, especially because I have like so much stuff for like different hobbies that I just have packed and don't have easy to access. I have all these, like, crafting projects I could finish. I have all of these games I could play. I have all
Mhm.
these books I could read, but it's just, like, even just getting around to organizing everything so I can actually find and using it is just too much. I
I
think
know.
sometimes, especially because I've been so busy, I've been trying to give myself more grace of just being like, "You know what? I wanna lay in bed and rot." A little
And you
bit in
don't
moderation
yeah.
is okay.
Yeah, and you don't even have to, like, think about, "Well, I have to earn my rotten bedtime," sort of thing. Because I think a lot of times we think about that. But yeah, you deserve a break and to find the little things. I've also found, like, if I have too many choices to make of, like, well, I need to figure out what we're gonna eat next week, and then I need to figure out a grocery list, and then do I wanna read a book? I have relaxing time right now. Do I wanna read a book?
So, one of the things when I first went to college for the first time, we had a really nice gym. One of the things that really got me into the winter and just get back into the habit of liking the winter is finding a gym that has a lot of windows and
Mm,
sunroofs because you can honestly go there. You don't even have to exercise too much. You can just walk on the treadmill and watch TV. And I really think just getting the sunlight and the exercise help so much if you can get out during the daytime, which is hard when the days are so short, especially
yeah,
to, I don't go to saunas too much now, but if you've ever used a sauna, or you can even just take a super hot shower or hot bath after going outside in the cold, it's just so
yeah. I was gonna say, I don't know about you, but when I'm like, "Oh, I can have this 1 hour of relaxed time before bed." But then my brain goes, "Well, what do you wanna do to relax? We could read a book, we could watch a movie, we could watch a show." Do you ever not watch a new show or movie because you know you're not gonna be paying 100% attention to it? So you're like, "I'll push that off to a different day when I'll actually pay attention to it." But you'll rewatch the same shows over and over again because 'cause you're like, "At least I can only pay 50% attention."
yeah, especially when, like, I think so many new shows, like, required so much attention that if you miss 5 minutes, you'll have no idea what's going on,
Yeah,
and a lot of older shows, they're just so comforting, and there's just, like, jokes you can just watch,
yeah.
pop in and out as you need.
And then I'm like, "Do I want to organize everything? Do I want to clean everything? Do I want to do a craft?" When I have so many options and I can't choose, it ends up just being me scrolling on my phone, which is terrible. And then it makes you feel worse. You're like, "I shouldn't have done this." But then you just can't, like, decide. So the other day, I was just rough day, just one of those bleh January days. So I had gotten a lot of books. My aunt went through her little library and said, "Do you want these?" And I love to read, but then I'd just been so busy, reading gets shoved to the side. The other day when I was just not having a good day, I don't know about you, but when I get upset, I just go take a nap. I'm like, "I'm putting myself to bed. Can't handle me right now, so she's gonna go take a nap." Then when I woke up from that, I took a shower, which that always helps, like, reset me a little bit, or even, like, a nice bath. That's always good. I got a cup of tea, and I forced myself to do nothing for a few minutes. I ate some food, and I forced myself to, like, not scroll, just kind of, like, chill, eat my food, and then, I was drinking some tea, and I started reading a book, and I got a physical book, which is nice because 'cause there's been a lot of times where I've just been reading on, like, my iPad or whatever, but there's something so nice about a physical book. So then I just started reading. I started a James Patterson book, which I had never read before. I've never read any of his books, but my grandma would love reading his books, and it would always crack me up, because she would go from whatever, the first 2 weeks or however long it took her to, read her book, I would go over and download them on her iPad, and so one week, it's Nicholas Sparks, and then the next week, it would be James Patterson murder mystery, and I'm like, "Grandma, why are you
That
reading
one.
this? Why are you reading" But now I can understand the lure, so I can understand why she liked him. So I just started reading, and then you kinda think back to, like, when you were a kid, all of the little things you liked to do, whether it's go paint your nails or, not that you did this when you were a kid, but once you're older and you know how to cook, you can cook, like, a good meal that's nice and warm, something that you really enjoy. Heck, just carb load, if I'm ever feeling down, just make me a pot of mac and cheese, I'll be set. And so I think it's just a good reminder that, yeah, the weather can be crappy, the news can be all over the place, things can be all over the place, but if you need a reset, I think it's a good reminder that you can and you should, and think back to the little things that make you happy. But I gotta try some more recipes. I've had a lot of soups,
Oh,
so
yeah.
soup is always good. A nice pot roast, that'll warm you right up.
And recently, I've been trying out those viral noodle bowl meal preps, and they're actually really good,
What's
where
in
you can
them?
take a mason jar or one of, like, the glass Tupperware jars, and you just put instant noodles. So you can either use ramen noodles or pre-cooked spaghetti or, like, rice noodles, and you can put any meat or vegetables you want, and then you just keep it in the fridge like that, so then when you're ready to eat it, you just fill it up with water in the microwave and it's done. Or you can add hot water.
Huh, I've never heard of those, but that sounds nice.
But I've been doing those. I've had soup the past probably 3 days straight in a row after I read that I found those out, but it's been very good.
Nice, I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah, something simple to make, like whole foods in there always helps because I know I just start snacking and then I feel gross. So, definitely Whole Foods meal. Not specifically you going to Whole Foods and buying food because that's expensive. You know what I mean?
And I've also been going back out to get new Valentine's Day merch that's been dropping. So, Trader Joe's, if you are a fan of the little mini Trader Joe's tote bags, are going to
They have
have
Valentine's one?
yes, they're gonna have Valentine's Day ones with little pink hearts.
I haven't gone to Trader Joe's in a very long time, and my wallet's been very happy because of that, but I think I should go back. That would be good, and they probably have what I haven't had in a really long time from Trader Joe's? Those little gummy, like, submarine dudes. So good.
They're so good.
They're so good.
But because I've been getting forced to go out, I think going out in the cold the first time is the worst, especially since I leave probably at the coldest time of the day, like before the sun
Yeah.
rises in the morning. But it's never as bad after that. So I've actually been going out a lot more after work just to get out of the house. And it is so, like, even though it's miserable to go out in the cold and the snow, at least when you're out, there's no lines for everything.
But yeah. Well, I was gonna
So
say,
I will
like,
say that's
even
nice.
even if you just went outside for, like, a little walk, the fresh air is so nice.
I was so refreshed.
I need to remind myself to just go do that. But yeah, it's always, like, the first day that you do it, it's terrible, but then you kinda get used to it, like, heck, I went outside to pick up, like, the garbage and the mail, and I was literally just wearing this outside today, and I'm like, "Man, it actually is kinda warm out here today." It was only 20 degrees. I'm like, "Man, it warmed up."
Last Saturday was the day that was really, really cold. I think it got down to like -10 here. And I felt peak Midwestern because I was wearing like fleece leggings under my pants, fuzzy socks, shoes, like a sweater, a base layer, and my parka. And I got so hot, I had to open my window in my car.
Oh
I
my
was getting
gosh, you were
sweaty.
overprepared.
So I just felt peak Midwestern. And I finally was just like, you know what? I'm too hot.
Yeah. This weather has nothing on me. Yeah. But we just wanted to come around with a friendly reminder that the winter can be kind of doom and gloom, especially when it's freezing cold and sometimes not always sunny. But we just want to be your friendly reminder that it's okay to take time for yourself to do the things you actually want to do, and you can put that to do list away. I might listen to this advice in about 15 minutes, and I may just ignore the nightstand for a little bit. But yeah, take time for yourself, and February is here because this will be posted on February 1st. February is here. Valentine's Day feel the love. We're one step closer to summer.
Almost there.
Yes.
But do you have any rants this week?
Yes, I
I'm
do. I
sorry.
can't believe I
What were you
haven't
saying now?
mentioned this one yet. All right. In perfect expertly unqualified fashion, it's our expertly unqualified rants of the week. Okay, so my friend and I joined this new gym, right? First, you gotta like find a gym, so that takes time. Then you finally find a gym, then you gotta like sign up. You know, you gotta jump through a bunch of hoops to go to the gym. And you have to be motivated to go to the gym, which is tricky for me. So we tried this like 3-day free trial, which is nice so you can see what the gym's about. And we do the group classes. So I'm not too worried if the bench rack is full, you know, when I'm there. But when you go in, you get like the code or whatever from your phone, and they're like, "Oh, we need to take a photo for your ID or whatever." Even with the free trial. And I was like, "Whatever." They go to take the photo, and it's not even like a real camera. It's just like the one that plugs into your computer, you know. There's no flash, nothing. And then they're like, "Okay, like have a good class, whatever." And then I was smart and didn't say, "Thanks, you too," because they're not coming to class. I don't know how many times I've done that before. So I go to class, and then we both decided, like, yeah, let's get a membership to go to the gym. So there's a few different rants. One was like, they say, "Oh, the gym is this price per month." And you're like, "Cool, that sounds good." And then you go to sign up and they're like, "Well, it's this per month, but then you also have to pay this fee so that you can keep it at whatever this is per month." And it's not that
Yes.
ridiculous of a
Yeah.
price, but you're like, "What?" And then they're like, "Oh, also there's no commitment like per month. Like you can just go per month if you want to drop it. But if you decide to drop it before 6 months is up, you're gonna owe this fee." And I'm like, "Fine, I guess I'll just exercise the whole year." No, it wasn't that bad, but I was like, why couldn't you just say, here's a flat fee and this covers all this? No, it's extra, extra on top of extra. But the real rant I have is for the person who checked me in and did the photo because they did me dirty. I have my eyes closed in the photo. There was no flash. My eyes were closed. I look like I'm about to sneeze or something. Like one eye is like barely open. And so I found this out after I joined, okay? Because when you log into the app, they're like, okay, then your picture magically appears. I was like, ah, of course this would happen. Who who would take a photo of somebody? And of course it was a man, but this guy took the photo. Who would be like, you know what? Her eyes are closed, but let's keep it. So now I'm pretty sure every time I check in at the gym, my photo probably pops up and it's like, so what the heck? That's my rant of the week.
To me at the DMV. So the first time, I thought I probably got a pretty decent picture, but the lady told me that since I smiled in my previous license photo, I had to smile in that one. So she told me to retake it. And then I retook it, and then she said that wasn't good either. We needed to retake it another time. And she told me to move my head back and look down, which if anyone knows what that does, it gave me a double chin. So
Yeah.
I I look so bad in the picture. It's literally me doing this. But
Oh
she
my
got it
god.
from like a downward angle too. So like
That's even worse. And it's on like a card that you see all the time.
so I honestly like I got a state ID after that happened and I've just been using that instead of showing my license.
Oh
Every
my
time I
god.
buy something when I need to show my license, which obviously like I haven't been pulled over, so thankfully I haven't needed to show my license.
They're like, "Is this you, ma'am?" And you're like, "1 second. Yes, it
Dude,
is."
but she did me dirty by making me retake it to look bad.
If you're taking a photo of somebody, be kind and ask them, or just look at it and be like, they don't look right.
And she did it to another young boy, which, like, she didn't do that to any of the older folks, but I saw her. She made another younger boy do that too and pushed his head back to give him a double chin.
Oh my gosh. And the other thing too was like I wasn't even smiling. I just did like, but then my eyes are like, oh gosh. So don't do people dirty and give them a nice ID photo because we're not having it. But yes, did you have a rant of the week?
I don't think I have one. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're feeling kind this week. Kindness is key. We'll take that kindness into February. Um, do you have any advice of the week?
My advice for the week is once again, if you think that you want holiday stuff, go now because I don't understand why, but Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day stuff sell out so fast. I have been wanting to get like St. Patrick's Day, like, like little things like for going
Yeah,
out, like, because everyone here goes to see them dye the river green at Chicago, but they always run out of the beads, they always run out of candy, they always run out of like the hats, the little hair
yeah.
accessories. So if you want stuff, go get it now because they will sell it.
Smart. Very smart. I was gonna
What about you?
say, for my advice of the week, treat yourself. You know what? I feel like this is what's in order. Go get a coffee from a new place you haven't tried, or maybe your favorite place. Go find a book, borrow it from the library, steal it from your friend. I'm kidding. Borrow it from your friend. Go to a store and buy a book and just read and enjoy. That sounds amazing right now, and I wish it was the weekend and I could just sit in a coffee shop and read a book. But maybe this weekend I will. So, but with that, thank you for joining us on this episode. One last thing, if you've made it this long, please hit the subscribe and follow button, the like button, the comment button, any and all the buttons that you are seeing. We want to hear from you. We want to make this tailored to our listeners, and we can't do that unless we hear from you. So drop in the comments what you're going to do to take care of yourself during February since January is over. And again, it takes 5 seconds to hit that subscribe and like button, and it means the world to us. So please do that. And if you're feeling crazy, send this to a friend who you think needs to hear this. Yeah. All
But
right.
everyone, stay warm out there. Don't work too hard now.
Yep, exactly. And we will catch you guys next week. Bye.
All right, that's a wrap on our episode of Expertly Unqualified. If you stuck around this long,
You're either extremely loyal, extremely bored, or extremely caffeinated. Either way, we love that for you.
make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave a review if you laughed, related, or were personally attacked by something we said. Find new episodes and more on our website, thepodmates.com.
And don't forget, follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Expertly Unqualified. Send us your stories, questions, or weird hot takes. You might just hear them on a future episode.
We are, as always,
Expertly Unqualified. Conversation's so fun, you'll forget we have no idea what we're doing.
was a Podmates production.